The missing piece is mind control. And it seems like nobody understands. Because I want you to look at this from a professional standpoint, because I'm a professional, and hopefully you can self-analyze this in the way I've done. I said, okay, if thought patterns is involved with anxiety, then it stems from the lack of not being able to control thought patterns, which then leads you to mind control, right? So understand that you can have all the money, you can have all the influence, you can have opportunity, you can have talent, you can have all of it. But if you lack mind control, what is the point of it? I could give you an example. Look at a fat old dork. He's rich, but that's it. He lacking every other area. Would you want to be him or me? I have mind control. Perhaps he's richer than me, but I can control my mind. My body is fit. I'm sexy. I'm charismatic. I'm strong. Women love me. I'm intelligent. I'm Preme, right? So why would I want to be this old fat dork just because he's richer? Why would I would never swap live with Elon. He doesn't have what I have. Perhaps he had more money than me, but he does not have the same amount of mind control that I have. So why would I want to be him? So these people don't understand that anxiety is a form of mental discordance, but they refute all of their problems because the Matrix have taught them to do that. So they don't want to believe that they can overcome anxiety. What they want to do is continue and use it as an excuse, as a blanket, as a shield over all of their monumental garbage of which they use. So they use anxiety, depression, all of these things as a cloak to ignore the deficiencies. And then they try and ignore the deficiencies by trying to get more money. By trying to get more money. And that's false. Because I said, if you're a witch, take this into thought. Let's run a thought experiment. If you're a rich weenie, if you're a weenie, period, if you're a dork and you get money, just become a rich weenie. But if you're rich Preme, a man like me of status, intelligence, all of it, you become a rich Preme, right? A man like me that gets money, all of his attributes get amplified. That's what happens. So when these people come with their depression, their anxiety, their stress, and all these mental disorders that they have, they try and use money as a cop-out way to allow them to forget their deficiencies. They try and cover up their weaknesses instead of trying to fix it. So when I look at these people's lives, yes, you may have money, but your mind is broken. They can't even stop food from going into their mouth. So this is why I say money is just an amplifier. If you do not change what's within, if you don't understand that anxiety, depression, stress, all of these things, burnout, all comes from lack of mind control. I do not have these things in my reality because I do not believe in them, right? There's going to be peasants. There's going to be people who do not understand it. That's perfectly fine. I want you to understand that reality is best when you have mind control. The fact that we all live inside of our mind is subjective. We all know this, that each circumstance that happens to us is the circumstances which we get to interpret upon ourselves. Let's say some bad thing just happened. Two things can happen to the same two people. One will come out looking at it as different, will say this good thing has happened. Like me, perhaps. The difference between me and some of these people, my girlfriend died, right? I didn't get anxiety. I didn't get depressed because I had mind control. My girlfriend died. I looked around and I said, fantastic. What do you mean fantastic? All of the peasants came to Preme. All the peasants came, Preme. What do you mean fantastic? Your girlfriend just died. I said, fantastic. I now get to become a superhero. Batman parents have to die. Batman parents had to die for him to emerge and train and become stronger, harder than ever before after they died. So perhaps my girlfriend had to die for me to become Preme, a fantastic force. So this is what I'm trying to explain. When your mind is in your control, you can shift your mental moods. You will no longer be anxious. You will no longer be depressed. You will no longer have stress when your mind is in your control, because you can control it. It's a shift. That's all it takes is a mental shift. And it seems like nobody can shift their mind. So when I get on here and I'm talking about pizzazz, and I'm talking about all the pertinence that you need to control your mind, you cannot ignore these things. You need pertinence and you need pizzazz. Some of you lack the pertinence. These people allow themselves to be tired, but they never fight through the tiredness. Pertinence gives you the ability to be tired and still fight through it. Through what? What did I just explain? Mental control. What is this video about? Mental control. So identify why you want to achieve mental control right now. Run yourself a thought experiment. What will be the benefits that you will see in your life with mental control? How would your life improve with mental control? How would everything work out how it's supposed to with mental control? I want you to identify that. I want you to go harder than ever before. I want you to train your mind. I want you to attempt to decipher the mechanisms which is trying to keep you anxious and depressed, right? This is the matrix system. This is how it works. It works over a gradual process of time. The way that the matrix infiltrates your mind is through time. You may not understand that it's happening when it's in front of your face. A lot of people do not recognize that they've been taught to be anxious. They've been taught to be depressed. They've been taught all of these things, but all of it's complete garbage. You need to get rid of it, like I've done, right? So a lot of people are down here and they need to get up here, which is why I'm explaining to you the route. There is hope. There is a way out if you understand that it all comes down to mind control. But if you can't control your mind, nothing else matters. Even the book of Proverbs talked about it's better for a king to control himself rather than for a king to control a whole kingdom, because the man who can control himself is a man fit to lead. He won't be brought down by the mental efficiencies or the mental deficiencies which life purport. He won't be hindered by external circumstances which happens, right? So people in my life, in fact, I had this conversation last night. I happened to be training out in the backyard in the wilderness by myself, right? I was out there training. Just listen to this very carefully. This connects to my point, so make sure you listen to this. I was out there training. It was pitch dark. There was no light in the backyard, and I was back there training, right? Training, boom. And I happened to get locked out, so I knocked on the door. Boom, 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 boom. He comes and opens it. I go back in the house, and I go back in the front, take the trash out. And I take the trash out, and he asked me a question. He said, "You weren't afraid back there?" I was like, "No, why would I be afraid? I'm Preme." What? He was like, "Well, man." And I explained to him how I trained out into the wilderness, because a previous wilderness experience taught me everything that I need to know about controlling my mind. I was out in a tent in the wilderness. I spent nights in the tent, no food, no water. I was out there by freezing cold water. At night, it felt like the tundra. And during the day, it felt like the Savannah desert. So I was cold at night and I was hot during the day. And I was out there with a bunch of wild animals, a bunch of wild beasts, which I had to face. I completely gave over the fear of all things in life, because I recognized that it all stems from what? The missing piece. Mind control. If you can control your mind, you can get over fear. If you can't control your mind, you can get over all the destitute, all of the garbage proportions which the matrix try and purport upon your mind, making you seek to be trapped. All of it. It can all be overcame with a controlled, complete mind. All of the results that you want can be done with a complete mind. If you can't tell yourself and make yourself obey, if you can't tell yourself to do something and make yourself obey, then you're weak no matter what you try and do, right? That's the real game. People think the problem is motivation. They think, oh, I don't feel motivation. oh, I feel sick, I feel depression, all that. Those are not the problems. I'm going to tell you, because motivation is temporary. Motivation changes with mood. But guess how mood is affected? Guess how mood is affected? Mood is affected through mind control. You can shift your mental moods when you get in control. So all of these things stem from the missing piece, mind control.